and welcome to this short overview video of something that you may have missed in our previous release. We're going to take a look within the Ontrack Staff Hub at our learner progress screen. So these were put into the previous release, but you may have missed them. So I've logged in to my Ontrack Staff Hub as our tutor. Those of you that have seen previous demonstrations before will be familiar with Rob Thatcher. He's one of our senior tutors within the Tribal College universe. I'm logged in, and as you can see in here, obviously Robert does have quite a lot of access to the areas within the Ontrack Staff Hub. Again, just as some context, those of you who are familiar or may not be familiar with Ontrack, you'll know that it's very configurable, very tailorable, so that the staff member logging into the system is presented with relevant information for the role that it is that they play within the institution. So Robert here as our tutor, he marks registers, so we'll have the attendance and punctuality KPIs and also outstanding registers he needs to mark. Anything upcoming today within his timetable or registers that he needs to mark today will appear in the Today pod. And then we have an additional 3 KPIs which relate to our progress and performance module. So that's our ILP, so targets and reviews. Also any pastoral or support elements can be logged using the progress and performance pastoral or support or safeguarding screens, and also the mark book elements too as well. So the grade book, the mark book, all related to our progress and performance. Okay, so we can view learners in several different ways. As you know, within the Ontrack Staff Hub, we could put in obviously learner information if obviously you've given staff members access to this tab by populating, for example, first names, surnames to go and drill down into a specific learner. We can drill into learners onto registers as well. So again, once we go into mark a register, we'll see a list of learners available. And also just to go into this in a bit of a different, slightly different way, we can see in here we've got the at-risk KPI that Robert has been given access to. So this relates to our pastoral area or safeguarding or support area, whichever you want to call it. It encompasses all 3. And within there's the ability for staff members, if you've been given the roles and permissions, to add learners at risk. So in here, as we just open up this KPI to show you, as Robert goes in and looks at the KPIs of learners that for whatever reason he's responsible for this example, he's their tutor, he will be able to see a list of learners that have been put at risk for any number of factors. So this one example here, we've got Tobin, who we're going to look at in the progress screens in a second, has been logged as a medium risk at risk of academic failure for this example. But again, it could be a number of factors that you as an institution obviously will validate and make some decisions as to why you think a particular learner has been put at risk. Now in here we can drill straight into Tobin's learner record, which we're going to do to show you the learner screens. But again, you could get to these screens in a number of different ways, as I said before, just by populating, for example, the learner record field. Okay, so let's select the learner's name. So we're going to look at Tobin today. Okay. And if we just go to the progress screen, this is the area that we're going to concentrate on. New from our previous release, but again, you may or may have not seen these screens. So we appreciate that there's a lot of information stored against our learner or student records within the Ontrack Staff Hub, again, depending on what level of access you've given your staff members. But so that our staff members can holistically view learner information in one go. Obviously, we could drill into any number of these areas depending on the roles and permissions. But the learner progress screen just gives a really nice holistic view of all of that kind of top level information around Tobin. So in here, we can go into his main learner details. We can drill directly from it in here too. If he has any support needs logged against him, we can see that in a holistic RAG rated KPI within the support needs tab. Again, these tabs are dependent on the level of access and the licenses that your staff members or that your version of EBS will have. They will appear in that under those rules. But as I said before, Robert does have quite a lot of access. Again, just to give you an idea of the art of the possible as well when I'm taking you through product demonstrations. Now, if I scroll down to as well, we can see it will gather up all of that information around his attendance and punctuality, because again, all of that is captured against the attendance register data within the Ontrack Staff Hub. We can see in here, we can set targets for Tobin as well. So attendance targets and punctuality targets. Again, that will go into a benchmarked RAG rated status, and you can define those benchmarks as well, what you decide needs to go into red, amber or green warning. We can see upcoming timetable events. I believe Tobin's on half term at the moment, but we could drill into those too. We can see anything around all of their active enrolments too and drill into those enrolment details. We can see if we've got any upcoming exams, again, because all of that data is sitting within EBS. We can see information that relates again to the progress and performance factor, our mark book in here, so we can see, for example, depending on what type of assessment grading, particular assessments that are associated with Tobin have been marked under. So this example, we've just got a pass-fail because he's on our BTEC and the grading scheme against that assessment is set up as pass-fail. We could drill into those details. And again, this also speaks against the rest of the elements of progress and performance. So we could see, for example, any upcoming ILPs that he needs to complete. So for example, if we just hover over this, we can see we've got one overdue target. If you had reviews, for example, that are sitting open or overdue, again, we can see all of that information directly in here in one holistic, intuitive screen. Okay. Again, I'll drill into one just to give you an idea too. We could see, for example, when I went into that KPI in the home screen to see learners at risk, we can see all of Tobin's overall risk too as well, because he's logged on to a couple of pastoral elements. So we get to see a holistic view of all of that data regarding Tobin's, all of his pastoral or support elements. So in here, as I said before, things such as risk of academic failure, maybe his attendance isn't being met as to, you know, what we've set him as a target. So in order to keep learners and able to keep them on track, we can holistically view all of that data directly from the Ontrack Staff Hub. And then it might be that we need to make some decisions and decide how we want to action certain elements in order to keep Tobin on track. So if I just go back a step, to go back to my home page, we'll just finish off on the last screen. So if we go back to that learner record, okay. So I'll put this into the screen, into the search screen. Again, just another way to get to those learner records. Okay, select the learner record here, and if we just go back to that progress screen, again, other elements that we can see too as well. If we've got pastoral records logged against him, we will be able to view those in here too. And again, you can see in here, I've purposely put some things in a red, amber and green warning, just again, so you can kind of see how holistic and easy it is to guide staff members to areas that might need some attention. Okay. Thank you for listening to this short demonstration of our new learner progress screens from our previous release. I hope you found it useful. Thank you.